Okay, number one topic to talk about here. We got some amazing news, some great news, some sensational news actually, courtesy of the BBC. I'm sure most of you are aware, but over here in the UK, Boris Johnson, our Prime Minister, has unveiled plans to end the England restrictions due to COVID-19 by June 21st. We have light at the end of the tunnel. Things are going to get back to normal sooner rather than later, and I cannot be more happier. I guess in other times, prior, maybe last year, yeah, maybe last year, I would have been a little bit more pessimistic about this and, oh, let's take it easy, let's chill. Da, 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 da. But now, after spending this amount of time indoors, the last thing I want to do is be pessimistic. The last thing I want to do is be easy, and I'm all for this. And to be honest as well, considering how, crappy this was handled, at the start and during the middle of this whole thing, this probably is this approach, this sort of like slow, gradual approach, opening up and testing at all points. I think there's meant to be a 5 week gap in between each stage. It's probably the best way to go, especially when you consider how terrible, again, we dealt with it in general. Yeah, let's say we, because it's not just the Prime Minister. I think we all had our part to play in it, going to people's houses and whatnot. So this is the following here. It says, a new four-step plan to ease the England's lockdown could see all legal limits on social contact lifted by 21st of June. Shops, hairdressers and gyms and outdoor hospitality could reopen on the 12th of April. That is going to be mad. From 17th of May, 2 households might be allowed to mix in homes, while the Rule of 6 could apply for places like pubs. It requires 4 tests on vaccines, infections rates, and new coronavirus variants. Prime Minister Boris Johnson told MPs the plan aimed to be cautious and irreversible. That's what you want to hear, right? Cautious but irreversible. The last thing we want is a lockdown part 4. It's quite wild to think that we had 3 lockdowns and we couldn't get the R number down to anything significant until we had a vaccine. Like, I dread to think what this country would have looked like without a vaccine. Like, we're so lucky. We're really, really fortunate that we have, the medical professionals we have in this country that were able to, get this approved in record time, quick turnaround. I'm sure, certain people are going to probably end up getting Nobel Peace Prizes for this or whatever it may be, or whatever else distinction you get when you do things like this. But imagine where the UK would have been without a vaccine. Just imagine. Jesus. It continues here. There are no credible route to a zero COVID Britain, nor indeed a zero COVID world. Yeah, that's true, I guess, to a certain extent. We were never going to do it because we tried to do the herd immunity thing. It clearly didn't work. And then by that time, the government already, decided that they were going to do this sort of hands-off approach, let the British public make, what do they say? Sensible choices, common sense choices. And, if you know anything about Great British public, you give them an option to make a choice and they're going to make the bad choice. No. Oh, Jesus. I'm included in that one. You give me an option. You give me a multiple question, a multiple answer test, and I'm going to get a few wrong. I'll tell you that. I'm going to get a few wrong. And then here's a step-by-step here. As part of it, we've got March 8th, of course, is the main date where the kids go back to school. So the teachers and get a chance to go back into school. Kids get a chance to, go back and meet their friends. Parents get rest from their devilish kids. 29th of March, we've got outdoor gatherings and sports, which is great. Can get back into playing 5-sided football, give it this flipping gut. Second term from 12th of April, non-essential retail opens, so you can go buy some underwear and all that malarkey. Hairdressers as well, correct? Because as you can see, I'm trying to do that thing where people do where you wear a hat to cover your head because you got a bad hair day, but doesn't really matter, does it? To be honest, hair's already calamity as it is. Some public buildings and libraries are going to be open. Outdoor seating with alcohol takeaway is going to be available. So loads of al fresco lunches and dinners, all that monarchy. Indoor leisure systems like swimming pools and gyms are going to be open too. Self-contained holiday accommodation. Like, absolutely superb, man. Superb news all around. Really, really grateful that this is happening. And like I said, I think this comes at just the right time for most people. I think most of us are probably reaching our wits' end in terms of dealing with this. It's taken a lot of mental strength to withstand a lot of this. And unfortunately, we've had a few of our citizens pass away due to various complications that come off the back of this. And I'm sure in future years, we're going to look back at this time and really shake our heads at the approach that we took to it. We didn't. It just goes to show. I think now we have enough information, enough time has passed. There's enough case studies out there to say that lockdowns only work in the beginning, and especially if you do them strictly. You can't do the hands-off approach. You can't do the make your own decision up. You can't do the open borders. You can't do that. If you're under the lockdown, you have to lock down the country properly. But then, of course, that requires some draconian measures that some countries are probably not going to, or some citizens are not going to be too happy to have enforced or imposed on their livelihood. But that's just the way it is, and unfortunately, with the way things are going. But hey, at least there's some light at the end of the tunnel. We'll be resuming normal life from the 8th of March, basically, because kids will go back to school. Because it's odd, isn't it? It's as as much as it doesn't involve me, because I don't have kids, I don't know anyone that that's going to take their kid there. It is oddly a sign of normality to hear like school kids on their school run outside the window, going on the buses driving by and being packed full of kids as well. It does kind of give you a semblance of normality, because it's quite weird, isn't it, going out for a run or going to the shops, popping out and just seeing nobody, right? Seeing a few people, but no one that's doing stuff, right? There's no one coming back from work because everyone's working from home. For the most part, there's no kids gallivanting around because they're not in school. It just feels strange. So that's definitely going to be another sign, another hint that we're back to some semblance of normality. And I can not wait.